grab your coffee, water, or whatever you have, depending on the time, because I know we have a quite a global audience here. And sit, relax, because we're gonna have a very nice time. As you guys know, we try to bring a lot of updates, a lot of new things, exciting things, and things that we find interesting for you guys to get to know about the Rootstock ecosystem, especially if the things are new. I think that's the most relevant thing. So I'm your host, Raisa. I'm part of Rootstock Labs DevX team. That's a team responsible for making your experience as a developer in Rootstock more pleasant. That means documentation, content, and even the tools that you have on Rootstock to build on Rootstock. That's the team that's working behind the scenes to make that possible for you. On this call, we try to bring updates from the whole ecosystem of Rootstock. That means tools that are being developed, partners that we have, launches, campaigns. So it's this is a place for you to get informed about what's going on Rootstock. And as in all calls, I want to introduce you for the agenda that we have for today. I think some of you guys have seen the post that we had on X. So today we're gonna have two external guests. That those are partners that we have. One is Geyser, which is one project that's funded by the Rootstock Collective. We're also going to have Para Wallet. That's a very, very new integration. It just happened last week. Para is a very nice wallet that's devoted more for developers, so developers can just take their SDKs, their apps to build seamless solutions on Web3. We also gonna have Sergio. I know that's a very anticipated guest that we have today, and Sergio is, I guess, one of the most knowledgeable person in the Bitcoin ecosystem, and he's gonna speak about BitVMX and Union Bridge. And then we're gonna have also Carol speaking about the launch of the Builders Rootcamp. That's Rootstock Developers course. That's gonna start next week. Exactly, that's gonna start next week. So that's when we're gonna have the first live class. And then she's gonna speak like how that will work, what's the dynamics that people can expect. And without further ado, let's jump first. I have a very nice message for you that was requested by our community manager, and this is the Rootstock Ambassadors Program. So as you guys know, we try to improve it every time based on feedback, based on what we see it's necessary. And here, if you come to this page, which is rootstock.io/ambassadors program, you're gonna find this very nice page where you have all the information to join the Rootstock Ambassadors Program. In this program, you're gonna have tasks and things that you have to do to contribute to the ecosystem. Either if you're a developer, a content creator, or if you are just someone who uses Rootstock and you want to share that experience with other people, you can earn and you can have a very good experience by joining this program. So you can come here and check. Your to-go person will be Marco, which is our amazing community manager, and he's going to be the person who is going to be working closely with you to make sure that you are accomplishing your what you have to accomplish here on this program. So our ambassadors, they either do content, they share things about Rootstock, new integrations. They also participate in events. Some of them even promote some events in their local area, which is a very nice initiative. So I want to invite you all to check this page if you have curiosity, if you have been working with Rootstock and you want to share your experience, you want to expand, and you want to be a closer partner to a close part of the Rootstock ecosystem. This is the place to go. So come here, check the page, get informed, and don't forget, apply now. That's very important. So this is my first message for you guys to not forget, and I will also share this link on the comment section here for you guys not to miss it. And then let's start with Geyser. So every month we try to bring partners, and these partners, they can either be integrations or they can be projects that are built on the Rootstock ecosystem. So they are like Rootstock by nature. And Geyser is one of those projects, and it's very interesting, especially for our environment, because it's one of a kind. It's not very common that you see these kind of projects here, and I want to invite Mick here to come and speak about this crowdfunding project on Bitcoin. I also took some notes about what Geyser is, but I know that you guys are gonna explore that. Welcome, Mick. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Risa. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks so much.
Amazing. So yesterday I was making some research about you guys just to get to know a bit more about like differentiator is core concepts. And I saw something which is nice. It's the concept of all or nothing platform. So you have the projects there, like creators go there to get funding for their projects, and people gonna start like to invest on it or like to give their to back those projects up.
Yeah.
But then you have that rule that if it doesn't like accomplish with all the goals that was set, then the people who contributed, they can just redeem or claim their funds back. Can you explain a bit more about that concept and how that works in practice?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think you've done a great job already summarizing it. But basically, right now, Geyser works following a peer-to-peer donation or purchase logic. So Geyser doesn't sit in the middle. The funds go directly from the sender to the receiver, and that is a beautiful model that actually even I think innovates compared to what existing crowdfunding platforms do in the mainstream market. Um, Again, peer-to-peer donation works beautifully, and there's a lot of value in this model. But in many circumstances, this model doesn't actually work. And what you need is some type of logic where the funds are held in escrow until a certain goal is reached. And the reason for that is in many cases, you need a certain amount of minimum funding to actually deliver on a project. For example, if you're publishing a book or you need to buy a minimum batch of a hardware device, you need a minimum amount of say $5,000 or $10,000 in order to actually deliver on the promise. But with less than the minimum amount, if you're instead looking for, if you get $4,000 of the 5,000 that you need, well, you're actually not going to be able to deliver, and so you actually have to that awkward situation of having the money, having to find a way to refund the people that funded you, um, and it both makes it on like not a good idea to launch a project in the first place for creators, and it also makes it highly risky for contributors to fund them because then you're sending money towards a project that isn't potentially may not get to that 100%, and then what, right? How do you get your money back? So this solves this critical use case, this critical problem, and we know it's a huge problem. We know that um, donation or type projects like GoFundMe model works really well, and that moves billions of dollars per year. But we also know that the Kickstarter model, the all or nothing model, also does almost $1 billion in volume per year. And so there's a huge market, and we just want to bring this use case, this tooling to Bitcoin because these platforms, GoFundMe and Kickstarter, only work in 20 to 30 countries. So everyone around the world may have regional platforms that do this, or not. In any case, fees are excessive, even up to 15% in some cases, and international transactions are very expensive and unreliable and just also not really well known as platforms. So we're trying to provide the best option, a platform that works on Bitcoin, which leverages the borderless properties of money, of digital money that Bitcoin is, while connecting it to rootstock smart contracts behind the hood to enable non-custodial use of this logic, so that again, Geyser does not have to take custody of user funds. This happens in a smart contract where actually the contributors, even though they've sent the money, can withdraw the funds at any point until that 100% goal is reached, after which the creator can withdraw the money. So Geyser does not hold the keys. It's always the creators and the contributors, depending on the logic. So this has been our first integration of Rootstock, and we've been super excited and super surprised about the functionality, and it works beautifully. It's live right now. It's been live for less than a week, and people are using it. We already have thousands of dollars that have gone through this system, and yeah, I'm excited to talk more about it.
Nice. And let me ask you, because you mentioned the borderless nature of Web3, right? As being one of the key factors uh, for Geyser to exist and to differentiate from other Web2 existing platforms. But when it comes to the barrier of entrance that many projects has in Web3, and that's very common, which is like wallet addresses and all that, do you guys already have, let's say, diminished that barrier to help with more people coming in and using that platform? Or is it like on the plan to make it more accessible and easier for more people to start using Geyser and as a, let's say, a solution for all the problems that you mentioned with these other platforms?
Yeah, so Geyser right now, we are right now really focused on the Bitcoin community, and the reason for that is we think Bitcoin is a very powerful. It can be really that monetary layer of the internet, both Lightning but also just Bitcoin on chain. And right now, actually, to launch an all or nothing project, you don't even need a wallet, right? So you can actually
Nice.
launch a project and you don't need a wallet. You just need a wallet once you redeem the funds, and you can use a Lightning address, Bitcoin Lightning address, or a Bitcoin on chain address. Down the line, we're looking to also add stablecoin addresses. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully that will also amplify the reach even more. Um, yeah, so we've become big fans of Rootstock, but and maybe down the line we'll also add Rootstock's addresses where we want to keep it really create the best platform ultimately to make your ideas happen, to empower people, to fundraise for if it's a new innovative product, if it's a book, if it's a
Yeah.
humanitarian emergency, if it's a cause, right? It doesn't have to be Bitcoin related. Bitcoin is really a tool for empowering people.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but down the line, I do think stablecoins are going to become something that we add. Yeah, whatever users want. So if you have any requests, let us know, and we'll look into that.
Amazing. And I know that you guys have just launched it, as you mentioned, like 1 week ago. But do you have any interesting use case that you already have, or ideas that you have on how users, especially as you mentioned, this is a peer-to-peer type of platform, but especially like the creators or people who are asking for that funding. Do you have any interesting use cases that you'd like to share, just to entice the imagination of people coming in and like, oh, maybe this is something I can actually use for something like a project of my own.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And if you're okay, I can share screen as well to give you a. Is that all right? Let me see
Yeah,
if I can
amazing.
do
Go for
that.
it.
Perfect. So let's have a quick look at just quickly Geyser, being a repository of thousands of projects, including educational initiatives, circular economies, community projects, uh, causes. People may have medical uh, causes to that they need support with, and charities as well. But if you look at the campaigns, this is the all or nothing campaigns, and basically here you have only two projects that have launched so far, and we're launching another one today, another one tomorrow, and then
Mm.
on um, on Wednesday we will open up for anyone to launch it as well. So we're just doing a slow open up rollout. And right now we have so overall, just to answer your question quickly, there's three there's three key types of projects that have launched using all or nothing. You have things like books. Right? Books often
Mm.
have a minimum amount of cost that you need to print a batch. Hardware devices like wallets, and also games, video games, so far, and also films. So all
Mm.
of these are sort of creative, builder type projects. So let's get into the two that are live. So one of them is called WeSatoshi, which is a Bitcoin-focused Swiss Army knife hardware. It's kind of like a Bitcoin spending wallet, if you will.
Mm.
And you can see here, this is an example tutorial where you have this guy going to a shop and actually spending with their WeSatoshi wallet. And it's really powerful. It's also, I think, powered by Rootstock. But yeah, you can spend with Lightning on chain, all leveraging um, really this like really cool hardware device that allows you to spend instantly and also with good privacy as well. So this is WeSatoshi, really cool wallet. I was one of my first early backers as well, and you can see here it's looking for $6,000 to
Mm.
again batch buy that 100 batches of the cards, and we have now 10% fulfilled, and he has 25 more days to get to 100%, right? So if it doesn't get to 100% in 25 days, everyone that has funded will get their money back. So
Mm-hmm.
if you think this is a good idea, you can make a donation, or you can also make a purchase. And yeah, so I recommend everyone to check it out because it's a very cool project. This other one is called Why Do Prices Rise? Just launched last night. It's actually a Brazilian documentary about with this guy who goes around everywhere in Brazil and asks people the simple question, "Why do you think prices are rising?" And then has a conversation about what is causing inflation.
Mm-hmm.
This ends up being an interesting topic where to bring up inflation, money, gold, Bitcoin, and so forth. So this is a chance for you to become a sponsor or be part of the film credits. And yeah, this one's up 2%. So I was looking for $5,400. Just launched yesterday, so there's still some time to go. But if you're a Brazilian, a Bitcoiner, someone that cares about this problem of inflation, do go check this out, this project, because again, if it doesn't get to the minimum, the funds are going to be going back to you. So, it's a really good cause to support.
Nice.
And yeah, so these are the types of projects, usually really creative. You also have sometimes we'll probably have some software projects. So anyone that has a project that basically has some minimum cost,
Mm-hmm.
where after which, before which it just simply doesn't make sense to even launch. Launching an all or nothing campaign can be a really good way to get people behind the project, really stress test the idea, focus on the funding, and when the funding comes in, then you can focus on actually building the product. If
Nice.
not, worst case scenario, people get their money back, no one gets hurt, you've tested the
Mm-hmm.
idea, have tried your best, and then you can move on to the next idea or a different iteration of the idea.
Nice, nice. That's very interesting. And Mick, I just want to ask you a last question, just because our time is getting a bit tight. But it's more regarding your experience building on Rootstock and like the tools, how they have served you, like how that's overall looking, and what's your like plans for the future, developing on Rootstock and with the support of the collective as well.
Yeah, I think overall, our developer team has been really positively surprised at just the overall support. I think Stock has proved to be providing the necessary infrastructure, guidance, documentation. Obviously, I know you guys are also still early with some of the documentation, but overall, it's been really, really great. And even beyond that, just at the level of support that your marketing team provides with these types of builder calls, being able to help us spread the word about our project, and overall just a great support and great leadership. So yeah, we're really really excited to be partnering with you guys on the All or Nothing, and actually we do have some plans to potentially expand the level of integration that Geyser has with Rostock even beyond the All or Nothing, even at the actual peer-to-peer contribution that I mentioned earlier. So we're also looking into that. The grants also help that a lot. The grants team is very supportive. So yeah, we're all really really happy, and yeah, couldn't recommend enough. People that are build Bitcoiners that, or even yeah, just people that want to build on solid foundations of Bitcoin, tooling that requires a sort of smart logic, um, is really critical for building tools on Bitcoin that can be powerful, can be actually useful, because
Yeah.
smart logic is really a requirement for a lot of tooling.
Yeah, amazing. Glad to hear. It's very nice to see developers in action, actually putting the machine to work. And I think that's the purpose of Rootstock at the end of the day. Mick, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for showing the projects. I think this is very inspiring, especially for the community here who is coming in and who truly believes in what Rootstock's building on top of Bitcoin. And also maybe some of you, your creators yourselves, as you saw, Mick just shared two of the projects that they have now, one more creative, another one a bit more technical. So there is space for you as a creator to come in and get some funding. I'm going to share the link of Geyser for you guys to check. And yes, I think that was very nice and inspiring to see. And now we're going to jump into a more technical side of this call, and that's when we're going to speak with one of the most knowledgeable persons when it comes to Bitcoin to smart contracts and to the overall Rootstock ecosystem. And I know that's one person that everyone anticipates. Every time you say his name, everyone is like, oh my God, Sergio's coming. Yes, Sergio's coming, and he's here. Welcome, Sergio. It's very nice to have you here.
Hi, Raisa.
So,
Nice to be here. It's so long.
yeah, likewise.
I was so excited with mixed projects. The first time I see it live and working, and the interface, the UI is so cool. I hope the best for the project.
Yes, it's super nice, and I think especially like when we have these calls, it's maybe some of the few moments when people who build like the infrastructure and people who are building on top of that infrastructure come together, and I think it's very nice for you guys to see like how what you're building actually is working for developers and at the end of the day for users. So yes, it's very nice, and it's always a very pleasant surprise. Many times when I'm hosting this call, that's when I first hear about these projects, and when I bring them in, I'm like, wow, that's so nice that it's possible to build those things on top of Bitcoin, thanks to Rootstock technology. So I think it's very nice to see that work in live action for us. I'm glad that you liked it as well.
Yeah. Yeah,
Amazing.
for me that I've been working on the hardcore technology, like the consensus level technology, seeing this end to end ending up in a very nice UI where actual users can very smoothly interact. It's super satisfying.
Yes, yes. As you said, you're like on the hardcore type of things. I have to say, to be honest with you, many times when you're speaking for me, it's super abstract. So I'm just like, oh, nice. But I know, like, it's very hard for me to tap into that concept because sometimes there are concepts that are very far from what I like my base knowledge. But hopefully today we're gonna clear some of these concepts and people get to know a bit more about BitVMX and Union Bridge. That's what we came here like that's what why we brought you in today. So I want to say like as you know, of course, like because you were on that project, Unibridge is a big shift from the traditional federated bridges on Bitcoin ecosystem. So, but I want to see like what is the problem that you guys were trying to solve with Union in the first place? Like, why was that necessary in the first place?
Yeah. So all existent, I'm going to try to make it very simple for all the audience. So every single Bitcoin bridge that exists until today was based on certain type of federation. And a federation can be very strong or very weak depending on how you implement it. In the case of Rootstock, it's actually a very strong and secure federation using HSMs. But still, the community wants a system that is truly permissionless, like there is no one behind it that has special powers or a special control of this system. And that's how we really wanted from the day zero, from the day we wrote the white paper, to Rootstock to be truly as decentralized as Bitcoin can be. And so the only piece on the Rootstock technology that still requires certain amount of trust is the bridge. So what is changed with BitBMX is that we can switch from this federated model, as has worked very well in the past, but still is not 100% aligned with Bitcoin ethos. We want to switch to a model that actually it's based 100% on Bitcoin security and can be actually permissionless. And by permissionless, I mean that anyone that wants to join this committee that secures the bridge can do it, and it doesn't need permission from any other of the members. It just can join and participate and assure the security of the bridge. And BitBMX is just a small piece on this the whole new design that it actually verifies Rootstock proofs on Bitcoin.
And I think you already kind of answered my next question to you, but it's just let's try to focus a bit more here at a very high level because I know like the time that we have doesn't permit for us to like expand in all these concepts. But how does the Union Bridge move BTC between Bitcoin rootstock, and where is BitVMX in that flow?
Yeah. So essentially, moving Bitcoins into bridge means obviously from Bitcoin to Rootstock and from Rootstock to Bitcoin. And moving from Bitcoin to Rootstock, that's the easy part because Rootstock already has a Bitcoin Oracle in SPV mode. So it actually can verify anything that happens on Bitcoin. So that's the easy part. The hardest part is, locking Bitcoins in Rootstock and proving that into a Bitcoin contract so that the Bitcoins can be unlocked on Bitcoin and transferred to the actual user that burned Bitcoin on the Rootstock side. So historically, this was not possible. There was no way that a smart contract in Rootstock would be able to verify something that happened on Rootstock. And by something happening on Rootstock, I mean the Rootstock consensus, because you have to verify there was an event on Rootstock that signaled that certain Bitcoins have been transferred to Bitcoin. And then there was certain amount of cumulative work confirming that event. That means verifying Rootstock consensus. And that was not possible on Bitcoin before. So BitBMX is one of the first systems that allows you to optimistically verify any any claim about a foreign chain, especially claims about Rootstock. So basically, it is called an optimistic system because it works like I can post evidence on Bitcoin that the event happened on Rootstock, the funds were burned on Rootstock so that the funds can be released on Bitcoin. And then there is a committee of a number of participants, we call them watchtowers, that can challenge that claim. And if that claim goes unchallenged, then very cheaply and very fast, the funds move to the end user. If one of these watchtowers challenge that and wins the dispute against the claimant, then those Bitcoin are frozen, nothing, these are protected, and so on. And the operator or the committee member that tried to cheat is penalized and it loses a stake. So that's how the system works. This is the disputable computing paradigm, which is very, very cheap when nobody's cheating, but in the case of a cheating attempt, then it becomes expensive, but the cheater pays all the bills. So that's why it's very attractive.
Nice, amazing. And again, I know that we're gonna tap into a very abstract concept, but it's just for people to understand how that will work and how that's still safe. Because I think that's one of the claims that we keep repeating on Rootstock, that it's safe by Bitcoins, backed by Bitcoin. And I think that's a value that especially developers, they value a lot on Rootstock. So what parts of that process happens off chain and which ones are reinforced by Bitcoin itself?
Okay, so the proofs that of this event of peg out events, this is all off chain. Like you can produce this. We are using ReZero to create succinct proofs, snark proofs of these events that happen on Rootstock, and then there is one path we call the optimistic path, where if every one of the committee members agree that this is a valid peg out, then the system actually creates a small transaction on Bitcoin, very, very cheap one, and nothing is actually verified because everyone else agrees. If there is some participants that are missing, that are not live to provide this agreement, then we enter what is called the pessimistic path, which is the dispute resolution, where the input to this snark is posted on Bitcoin and then is verified or challenged on Bitcoin. So actually, BitBMX occurs or take control of this protocol only if there is a dispute, only if there is a disagreement between the committee members. And one of the marvelous things about the union design is like the committee members can really grow, and we plan to improve it to even grow more. So it can have 50 members or 100 members. So that makes the system highly decentralized.
Nice, nice. Sergio, and now I want to bring the discussion a bit more to builders and maybe a bit more practical. So, what does this new concept of B2MX apply to Union Bridge? What does that look like? What that unlocks for builders? What new applications or system designs it makes it possible for builders building on Rootstock?
Yeah, so there are two direct implications of having BitBMX and having created BitBMX. The first one is like, if I'm a Bitcoiner, I want the fully alignment with Bitcoin. And I already have Rootstock fully aligned on Bitcoin and block production because we are based, Rootstock is based on merge mining, and we have more, like almost 90% of merge mining. Still, I want to have the same level of Bitcoin alignment on the bridge. So if I'm a developer and I'm a Bitcoiner, I want to develop applications that are highly related to Bitcoin or are based on the trust of Bitcoin, then I would choose Rootstock even more if the funds are secured by Union. So for me as a developer and a Bitcoiner is having higher security and higher alignment with Bitcoin. And the other side of the story is that we've built a system to verify any smart contract on Bitcoin with BitBMX. So now if you want to write applications that actually run on Bitcoin, you can use just the BitBMX component. So this is a legacy that Rootstock Labs and Fairgate Labs, which together have built BitBMX, will give Bitcoiners a new way of developing applications on top of Bitcoin. And of course, these are different trade-offs because you don't have the interactivity, the fast blocks that you have on Rootstock and all the infrastructure you have on Rootstock. But still, there are certain applications that it could be interesting to build on top of Bitcoin. So this is a new piece of Bitcoin infrastructure that we have built, and it's open to anyone.
That's very nice, Sergio. And I think one important thing that you mentioned is like how Rootstocks is always trying to be in sync with the Bitcoin like ethos, what that was made for. Because I think with the all the buzz and noise that we have in the crypto space, especially when it comes to altcoins and all like the crazy things that happen, markets go up and down. Maybe not so much lately. I think it's hard to find a network that's trying to like to keep it like a straight vision into why we are doing that, what means to be DeFi in nature, and how that translates into actual features and like computational languages, like how those concepts, like which may be economic, sociological, how they come into place when we're building systems. And I think that's one thing that you mentioned that's so nice. And for us to close, to wrap up, I want you to like to highlight and maybe clarify what's the biggest misconception that you see around BitVM style systems, and maybe something like you want to for people to get rid of and have the right concept in their minds when we wrap up this section.
Yeah, so there are several misconceptions. People think that BitBM is a bridge in itself. No, BitBM is just the verification technology that we use to verify events that happen on Rootstock. But a bridge is much more than just BitBMX. The Union bridge, I would say that BitBMX is like 10% of the code base of Union. So that's why there are many companies or ecosystems that are building on top of BitBM on BitBMX. BitBM and BitBMX are two flavors of this kind of protocols, but they completely differ on these. How do they work? Actually, what is the transactions that need to be created for this, or the possibility to be permissionless. And so that's one of the misconceptions. People sometimes talk about the BitBM bridge, and they just are not. There's no just one BitBM bridge, and Union is, I would say, that one of the most advanced and efficient. The other misconception is like, oh, now I have a one of n security assumption. I don't think I mentioned this, but this is very important for Union bridges. Like anyone is able to join this committee and be able to challenge. So you need only at least one. You need just one honest party, and but this misconception is like some of these other implementations, they only accept up to 10 watchtowers, which makes really the project not really scalable in the sense of decentralization. And one of the goals that we put on ourselves when we created Union is to be able to scale this bridge to 50, 100, or more than 100 participants. That's how we really reach decentralization. Because even if you have a one-of-n security assumption, but you can only support 10 participants, then you are not really improving much the state of the art. You're not giving this trust minimized or decentralized bridge. And we, with Union, we really reached a point where we can let most of this the, the people who are building on top of Rootstock participate directly on the bridge. Let's say I'm writing a lending protocol on Rootstock, and I want to give my users a full assurance that the bitcoins are secure. I would also participate in securing the bridge, but that's the way I can offer my users full security. So this new protocol allows anyone to be participant on this bridge. And also I would say that a third misconception is like some other BitVM projects offer like permissionless challenge, which is something that actually is not secure because you need to offer counterproofs. In all proof of work based chains, you have to be able to let the challengers, the watchtowers, provide a counterproof. A counterproof is a way of saying, no, the proof you are providing is not the real canonical chain. You created a fork only to cheat. And that provision of a counterproof of the canonical chain is what makes this system highly secure. So I would say that there are many differences in the bridge design, and I'm super proud and super happy that we chose the right decisions for the Union Bridge. And so my last comments and call for action for the community is when we put this on testnet, that will be very soon. We have been doing some testnet tests, integration tests. Now we are moving to a full working system into testnet, and I want the community to participate, test it, and make their opinions on this. I think this is the path forward of Rootstock. We will do this change very slowly, very carefully, to make sure that never the funds of the users are at risk. We will only enable certain small amount of funds to be accessible through the Union Bridge at the beginning, until with a cap, the same strategy we used initially with Rootstock to make sure that the system is secure. And so I feel that we will have a smooth transition to the new bridge. But I want the community to be involved and to put their opinions on this. Thank you.
That's brilliant, Sergio. And just as a final hope for your call to action, how the community can get engaged with that task that you mentioned? Like, what's the right channel for them to engage with the first task of Union Bridge?
Yeah, so I think certain, for instance, the whole BitBMX platform is open source. The smart contracts of Union, I think, will very soon be open source when the test is actually executed on testnet. So at that point, anyone can can participate in reviewing the code. Those that have coding abilities, those that just want to interact with it will be able to programmatically send funds into the testnet and receive funds to make sure that it works. And when we have this UI ready, then any user will be able to interact and test it very easily. So there are certain test stages, and different kind of community members can involve in different stages. I would say that at this point, the best way will be for those that like coding and auditing code to take a look at BitBMX. So apart from external security auditors that have already performed security audits on the code, we would love to have your contribution taking a look at the code.
Amazing. So I'm just sharing here the screen of bitvmx.org, where you guys can get informed about pretty much what Sergio just mentioned. Is kind of synthesized here, although he expanded a lot on the like where that came from, what were the challenges that we had before that. But that's the place where you guys can recur to check everything that Sergio just mentioned, and then you get informed that if you are into a computational language, if you are like the tech savvy guy who wants to understand how things work, this is a very nice platform for you guys to check. We also have Rootstock blog where from time to time we have some posts about Union Bridge, how the developments are coming. So yes, I want to encourage you guys to keep a close eyes, because this is really this is a big, not a big shift, but I think it's a nice complement to what Bitcoin already brought. Rootstock built up upon it, and like what's next and what can make it the experience even better for builders for end users at the end of the day. Sergio, thank you so much for joining us. I know it's your vacation time, so I do appreciate that you took your time to speak. I know that you're very passionate about this topic, but still, it's your time off and you're here with us, so thank you so much.
Thanks to you. Very nice to be here.
Yeah, likewise. Talk soon. So, guys, I hope that these bit of the call was like clarify some of the concepts, and as we said, like we as Serge was explaining, I think you guys can understand how that's very, let's say, revolutionary to what Rootstock's doing on Bitcoin. And I think that just adds up to everything that we have built before. So it's very nice to see him explaining how that came into life. And so besides encouraging you to check bitmx.org, I also want to encourage you to follow Sergio on X, because he does share a lot of nice insights on computational language. And I think that's so nice to see someone so active in this community actually speaking about the power of Bitcoin and how that can actually transform into new technologies that will end up transforming people's lives. Now we're going to jump into another section of our call, and I want to bring in Carol. I know that Carol is someone that you guys are already very familiar with. And Carol is here because next week we're going to have the first live class, actually the start of the Builders Bootcamp. And that's a project that we have been grooming and speaking a lot. But now, like in 1 week time, that will come to life. Hello, Carol. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, Raisa, thanks for having me again here. Yes, we are very excited about the Builder Root Camp. It's starting on Monday. We are going to have our first live session. The Builder Root Camp is something that we are trying for the first time. It's going to be a 10 weeks hybrid course, almost like a boot camp, and that hence the name, right? And the idea that we are going to have a mix of self-study at home, where the participants will have the option, not option, but the possibility to study the course and modules and understand how everything from zero to hero, I say, and to learn how to build on Rootstock and on BTC, right? And also, on top of the self-study, we are going to have the live sessions. So it's going to have two live sessions. We're going to have two live sessions per week. One live session on Mondays and the other on Thursday. And some of them we're going to have with Rootstock engineers, core devs, and other sessions with ecosystem partners. Let's see. Do you have any specific questions? What do you want me to just keep talking
Yeah,
about
actually, it's about the partners that you just mentioned, because I have seen a lot of movement on that regard. Like, as you said, this is a hybrid model, so people will have the classes which are already recorded, but they also gonna have live sessions, and those sessions they're gonna be both with Rootstock Labs team. So those are developers who are actually building some of the tools that people are using, but others are actually from partners that we have. Can you mention just a little bit, like 2 or 3 of those partners, just for people to get excited about what they're gonna see?
Yeah, of course. We already have some guest partners like confirmed. Some of them are Alchemy, Tenderly, we have the Graph, and we have Wallet Connect. And there are some other partners that I cannot mention yet because we are still talking. But this has already give you a really nice idea of what is happening during the root camp. What else can I tell you? Some really cool stuff about the root camp is that the idea is that because it's 10 weeks, right? We wanted to have a way for the participants to be engaged and feeling rewarded for their time. So we are implementing a double rewards for the activator. So
Nice.
participants during the during the course, so from Monday until the end of the course, every idea that they submit or claim, and then later, if they are approved, they get double rewards. And we are also going to use the activator um, interconnected with the root camp for some assignments for the final project. So it's a way that they are, can contribute to Rootstock and already build their portfolio, right? After the course,
Yeah.
they can already show their contributions, their GitHub, what they learned. So this is a way to already start contributing to the ecosystem. And the idea is that by the end of this root camp, the participants, they are the ones that graduate, right? They are already kind of vetted by us,
Yeah.
and can easily join the partners and maybe get some job opportunities. And this is what we are hoping for.
Amazing. That's great to hear. And I guess my last question for you is regarding the fact that you mentioned like this is the first class. So these will be the first people, the first 30 developers who will graduate after this course, and that hopefully will have their own projects on Rootstock, maybe on the collective as well, maybe join partners companies, and like as you said, this is the goal. So I guess that what you guys are expecting is a learning curve, right, from this first format for the future ones. So I know that you guys don't know about it yet, but do you have future plans for the course? Like, what's the takeaway after that? So after that 10-week, what's coming next?
Well, we don't have at the moment confirmation that a second cohort is gonna happen. Um, we have the idea and we want that to happen, but this will depend on how this first cohort goes. Maybe we are gonna get feedback as you go and improve for a second cohort. Maybe the format is gonna change a little bit to adapt to what we learned with the first one. So I cannot confirm that exactly this
Mhm.
format is gonna happen, but we do want to keep um, having these courses. Yes.
That's nice. That's very nice. So, as you guys know, this is like a closed course, so only the 30 people who are accepted into this cohort will be the ones who will join these live classes, and then who also have access to the platform, to the tasks, and to everything that the team have prepared. Regardless of that, you guys gonna see some updates from time to time, like how those classes are going, some sneak peeks of those classes, because I think those are overall valuable for the whole community. And if you want to like join the next one, first, like maybe there is not a next one, but hopefully there will be a next one. So keep a close eye into what's happening on Rootstock, especially on the Discord channels. That's where people is gonna be sharing the news about the course. And I think it's a great opportunity for new builders to come together and to get to know each other as well. Besides, of course, the knowledge part, the part that they're gonna study, I think it's nice for them to come together and maybe form a team together if they don't have it yet. And I guess that we're gonna have so many nice outcomes when that course ends. I'm sure it will be a success. So it's very exciting to see. And if you are watching us and you are one of the 30 people who are selected, first of all, congratulations. And I guess that we are all very excited to get to know you next week, right, Carol?
Yes, we're super excited, and yeah, see you on Monday.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much, Carol. Bye bye. See you soon. And guys, we are almost at the end of our call, but not without a very nice final touch. So last week we had a very nice integration, especially for developers, which is Para Wallet. And they, by the last minute, they accepted the invite to join this call, which is very nice of them. And I think it would be so nice for you to get to know yet another tool on that was integrated on Rootstock and that offers so many options. So I want to welcome Aditi from Para Wallet. Oh, okay. Oh, there she
Hey,
is.
thanks for having me.
Hi, Aditi. Thank you so much for joining. I think everyone today had a bit of a like had to make an effort to join here. Like we had Sergio who were on vacation, and now you're on the west coast of USA. So I know that it's super early for you, right?
It's totally fine. I'm excited to be doing this, and we've been really enjoying our time in the Rootstock ecosystem. So excited to be chatting with the rest of the ecosystem here.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us once again. And I was just introducing a bit about Para, although I think you are the best person to speak about how it works. So when we say wallet, of course, everyone is going to think about like the drop down MetaMask that comes and you do all your transactions, but that's not what Para is about. So I want you to tell us like an intro, 101, like what's Para, what it does, and how especially builders can access on the Rootstock ecosystem. But let's like first things first, like what's Para?
Yeah, amazing. And am I able to share my screen here? I prepped a few slides.
Yes, you are. So you have here um, small like boxes, and then you have this box which is a square with an arrow pointing up. That's where you can share a screen. There you go.
Okay. Is that working? Can you guys see my screen? Raisa, can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
It's on.
great. Awesome. Sorry about that. Okay, perfect. Great. So, for context, I am the head of business and operations at Para. I joined on the founding team in late 2022. So it's been a 4-year ride so far. My role has been everything from foundational customer definition, go to market, to scaling things up now that we are serving more than 10 million plus users and hundreds of customers. So that's a little bit about me. Para is a wallet and authentication suite for crypto apps. We work with teams kind of across the gamut of apps. So we see a lot of payments and fintech apps, ecosystems like Rootstock. We see a lot of games, a lot of identity projects use Para as well, and really supporting the kinds of applications from starting to onboard their users more effectively through Web 2 and Web 3 methods, to also kind of the end funnel of things like bundled in money movement, so bundled in on ramps and off ramps, analytics, so being able to tell how your users are onboarding, what auth method they're using, how much value is flowing in and out of your system, and even things like customizable security. So I'll go through a demo of the product as well so you can see this in action, but we kind of support this full funnel of users, onboarding users and getting them on chain across multiple different chain ecosystems. So EVM, Solana, Rootstock, of course, and kind of making this as effective as possible for developers. One nice feature that we also enable is universal wallets. So enabling any user that is onboarded with Para to now use that same wallet in different places. This has historically been a limitation of email wallets, where if you create an email wallet in one app, you're not actually able to use that email wallet anywhere else unless you export the private key. So also removing some friction around that and enabling that same email to be reused across apps, even if Para is not supported in other places. So in practice, what this looks like is you can let your user try your app by easily signing up. They can sign up with social login methods. We actually also include advanced features like a guest mode, where they don't even have to go through a social login method. They can just press continue as guest and get a wallet in the background, and then they can set it up later. And so we also enable kind of this customizable security model where users can add passkeys, or they can add passwords or pins, or just kind of increase the security of a wallet as onboarding kind of increases. So these are kind of where you can find me, just helpful links. Our website is getpara.com, and this is my Twitter handle. But I'll also go into a demo of how this looks for Rootstock. So, okay, great. So in practice, this is our demo app where you can customize things like theming and branding. So obviously this can change pretty flexibly depending on the sorts of UX you want. You can change the look and feel as mentioned. You can also change the authentication method. So this is like the bread and butter of what Para does. So let's say we want to just enable Google email and phone, we can do that. And let's say we want to enable, the most popular wallets, we can do that. We can also collapse the view, etc. So it's really as flexible as you want it to be. You can configure security here, as mentioned, and then everything money movement as well. And so this populates really nicely across all of our SDKs. So we have web SDKs, mobile SDKs, we have a REST API, server wallets, and it kind of produces code output as well. So if you want to copy paste this directly into your integration, you can. And then what's nice about the Rootstock integration is we also have a fully kind of end-to-end guide of how to integrate Para with Rootstock. And so how this would look, this is our docs page, and I can link this in our chat as well. But everything from how to set up the Para provider and the SDK for Rootstock, how to configure Rootstock as a chain, and then also a fully working example, which shout out Jonathan from the Rootstock team for helping set this up. In terms of a live demo, I'm actually going to go through the Ethereum Foundation's DevConnect application that they used Para as the sole wallet provider. So this is in Argentina. The Ethereum Foundation had held DevConnect in November of last year, and they had built an app for people to explore the conference, pay for food from here, manage their ticket, etc. And so what this looks like is I sign up with my email. I'm going to be getting a OTP code on my phone, so I'm actually just going to look at it here. Okay. Great. I now verify the code. I now am connecting my wallet to this application, and here I go. So now I have a wallet. You can see the address here. I can receive crypto. I can send crypto. I can kind of do everything I need to do from here without needing to manage a separate browser extension or managing a separate mobile app. And then what's nice is if I wanted to even export the private key, I could, and just manage it directly from, wallets. And if I actually wanted to use the same wallet in a different app, let's say, example, Uniswap. Uniswap obviously does not have any sort of wallet provider here, but I can actually connect that same Para account to Uniswap. So all I would do is hit Para and be able to log in with the same wallet here as well. So what's nice is in the Rootstock ecosystem, a user that signs up in Money on Chain or Sovereign or one of these apps can now actually reuse that same wallet in different places without having to re-onboard or refund their wallet or go through the steps of setting up their account again. So incredibly excited to be supporting the Rootstock ecosystem. And if anyone has any questions, you have my accounts. And then I'll also link everything in the chat as well.
Amazing. That's very nice. You're super fascinated, but like it's so nice to see everything that's possible to build with Para. And I think everyone is excited. Yeah, I was making some research about you guys, and when I saw some of the use cases, I was blown up by like how seamless you made the whole experience for end users at the end of the day. Like, of course, this is a tool for developers, and I think it's amazing that projects get to know how they can use that to empower their own projects. But at the end of the day, you are making people's life much easier, and you are really lowering the barrier that we have with Web3 by taking off like all the loggings and like all the you mentioned like about this new logging that you can migrate funds from one to another without the need to have another account created. And I think that's already like it's so simple. Like it's one of those things that when it's created, everyone's like, why didn't it exist before? It makes life so easy that you kind of forget that you needed that in the first place, right? So I think it's very nice and exciting to see. And I want to ask you, so I have just shared on the comment section about that guide that you share on how people can start using Para on Rootstock. And if people need more support, where they can recur, do you guys have Discord or any other channels that people that partners or businesses they can recur for more support from Para, and like how to learn about the tools and everything that you have, like if they have problems with the SDKs or anything else?
Yes, so I linked the Rootstock guide, which I know you did already, but if you look at the top of the docs page, there's a button that says community. This is our Slack community. So folks can join in here. I will also try to link that as well. Great. Folks can join here. We monitor it quite regularly. So if you have any questions, feel free to check in there. The other angle here is we're working quite closely with the Rootstock ecosystem. And so if any questions come up, I'm also happy to be introduced to anyone on this call building a cool app on Rootstock directly. The Rootstock team, you guys have my information and Telegram. But yeah, that's a great way to find us. And then in terms of use cases that we're really excited about, I know the Rootstock ecosystem is heavily focused on Bitcoin and payments, which is awesome. But things that we see teams build, everything from stablecoin payments and money movement. So we work with teams like Juicebox and JokeRace that do kind of money movement with stablecoins and crypto, whether people have a wallet or not. We see a lot with remittances and global coverage. So this is teams like Zelio, they let users send money via text in Nigeria. We work with teams like Haraka. They're delivering microcredit in Ghana using Para, where entrepreneurs in Ghana can get access to on-chain credit in under 5 minutes. We do a lot of work with stablecoin accounts and embedded finance. So this is like allowing teams to offer bank grade capabilities with things like accounts, balances, yield, etc., on top of stablecoin infrastructure. So this is the work we did with the Ethereum Foundation. We do work with Aave. Decal is a team as well that's doing blockchain native merchant loyalty with restaurants on the ground. And then we work a lot with identity and ecosystem. So we do a lot of work with ENS as their wallet provider as well. So bunch of teams use us actively, but those are kind of the like top use cases that we see a lot of that we're really excited about. And of course, things like trading and DeFi come up as well. So yeah, feel free to text me. I'm also happy to workshop any app ideas that ecosystem builders are working on. And yeah, you know where to find me.
Amazing. Thank you so much for mentioning all these exciting use cases. As you mentioned, like Rootstock is heavily on payments or like more on the DeFi realm of the whole Web3 ecosystem. But I think it's nice and important that people know that there is more to build on Rootstock, and with the power of tools like Para, that's even easier for people to build. So I think it's very nice. So I want to invite you guys, besides joining the community, I also share the documentation that Aditi mentioned, to check the use cases that they have on their website. That's very inspiring and very nice to know, because I think use cases really clear out and help us to see the tool in action. So I want to invite you, if you're part of the Rootstock community, to go and check that, and maybe like you're, oh, okay, there is something here for me and for my project. I see that applied for Geyser, for example, and for many other instances. Geyser was a project that we had earlier on this call, just for context. And then I think there is so many things that is possible with this new tool that we have now available for builders on Rootstock. And once again, Aditi, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Also for the links that you mentioned, I think that's all very valuable. And yeah, let's keep in touch. I'm sure that this will be super valuable for all users on the Rootstock ecosystem, and looking forward to keep up the work with you.
Amazing. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, guys, so I guess that's a wrap for us today. I hope that you guys enjoy. We try to, every time we try to bring to this called interesting and varied topics for you guys to engage with. I think it's important for you to know what's going on the ecosystem, and because this is like a very big ecosystem, there is so many things happening. Like as you can see, like we have community things, we have partners, we have new technology being developed, and I know that sometimes it's like a very crazy mix, but I think it's a nice one for you guys to know. And yeah, we have here the link for our Discord. Don't forget to join. I'm also going to share this link on the comment section for you guys. The community is the best place for you to get to know, like it's to get to know more about the Rootstock. You're also going to have direct support there from our community manager and other team members as well. So yes, thank you so much for keeping up with us today. Looking forward to seeing you on the next one. And yeah, have a nice day. Bye bye.